Flagler. The alley-oop to Victor Wembanyama.
You keep the big fella fed, you keep him happy. Passes right on the money. How about the dexterity there from Victor Wembanyama? Knows exactly where he's at on the court. That's a world-class finish. Doesn't get any better than that. That's what the fans come to see.
Que bonito, Victor. Now skies for the rebound. Quickly up to Harper. Spurs look to push. Alley-oop to Victor. Number 2 to number 1. And Wembanyama right there at the right time. Barely jumping.
Rockland's got a big body. Used him well that time. He worked himself into the paint with that turnaround jumper. I'm not even sure he was aware Victor was there.
Victor got him right back.
I mean, this ball is way up there for your Methodist healthcare assist. That dime is right on the...
Down to Gasell. Penny. Wembanyama. Oh, Wembanyama, the left hand.
Beautiful spin move. As soon as he catches it.
Latest hoops news around the NBA. Starting here, Ramona, did you see this clip? Tyrese Halliburton during last night's dramatic Fever win. His fiancée G posted this clip. He's been courtside a lot for their game. He's been courtside forever. He is an OG fan. He goes back to when they weren't even at Game Bridge. He used to show up, they give him tickets, and then finally when Caitlin Clark got there said, "Hey, you know, we're going to need you to buy some season seats." He said, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Yesterday's price is not today's price, but what a win for the Indiana Fever." We're going to have more on that game coming up a little later in our show. Moving on here to the beef that's been squashed right between Giannis and Alper and She-Nun. They shared a collaborated joint post on social media that said, "We always remember sports are made to unite us, not divide us." If you missed this storyline, both had made some comments that upset their national fans during FIA Eurobasket. Houston pays Milwaukee on November 9th. Tim, what are you expecting? Well, I think they've buried the hatchet, but you know what? Giannis, mild manner, generally a pleasant, even joyful guy. Underrated beefer. I mean, this guy, you got this, you know, you've got the deal with Papa Halliburton, the game ball, right versus the latter in Philly back in the day with Harden. Giannis got some beef. Well, you know, yesterday, you know, why it's Giannis's dad jokes, too. It's all good with him, right? Let's go to the Miami. ESPN Shave Shirananya reported this morning that Tyler Herro getting surgery unfortunately on his left foot. He will be sidelined to start the season. He was hurt in an off-season workout. The Heat had a bottom 10 offense last season, Ramona. So, how concerning is this? It's slightly concerning because I think this has been going on all summer. He didn't really train with his longtime trainer Drew Haaland all summer. This has been bothering him and I think hope was that he could avoid surgery, but got to get it done. Got to get him back on the court. So, this opens up room for Norm Powell. Good thing they got him and maybe even Terry Rozier, who was kind of buried on the bench. The depth chart there to start the season though for Tyler Herro. All right to the stalemate between restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors. It continues. His agent Aaron Turner he told the Hoop Collective podcast that they're prepared to take the $8 million one-year qualifying offer. So, the Warriors, remember, they'd reportedly offered a 3-year $75 million deal. But the team is sticking with that team option in the final year, and that has been a sticking point. So, whether it's a team or a player option, that would guarantee Kuminga $48 million in the first 2 seasons. Since we're talking money, we need to bring in Mr. Money Moves, Bobby Marks, our front office insider. Bobby, why would Kuminga take the qualifying offer instead of that guaranteed what, $40 million more? Yeah, first give credit to Brian Windhorse. I don't think I've seen an agent come on a podcast and negotiate for his client like he did Aaron Turner did with Jonathan Kuminga here. I think from his perspective, he's looking at it first. The $8 million qualifying offer gets him to unrestricted free agency next year. It also gives him to right to veto any trade coming forth. It was also mentioned, and Anthony Slater has mentioned this, that Kuminga has taken out an insurance policy in case he does get injured. So there is the mitigating cost as far as future salary that could be coming in. But I do think Malik, I think there's a compromise here when you're looking at it. And I know we've talked about the 2-year or the team option here. I think you could still do the team option. And I think what you can do if you're Golden State, let Kuminga have the right to veto any trade. But here's a little wrinkle. If he was traded and Golden State exercised that team option, guess what happens? He no longer has the right to approve any trade any further. So, I think there is a common ground, at least from the Warriors' perspective, to get a deal done because I think this is kind of the last resort both sides want to go through is have him play out on that 1-year deal. Bobby, when I read that the Warriors had offered him the 3-year deal, the 3 years with the team option on the SEC on the 3rd year, I felt like they were the ones who blinked. Like that to me was a significant development in these negotiations that was a concession because all summer long it had been a 1-in-1 team option on the 2nd year. Now they gave him another guaranteed year. So that's instead of being $24 million 2 years, but only 12 of that's guaranteed now, this is an extra $40 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money and I felt like the Warriors already blinked by offering him that. And I know we're hung up on this team option versus player option, but Bobby you tell me if I'm wrong, but that felt like in the stare down that Kuminga has already got them to move. Well, I don't think they're going to move any further. I think certainly when you talk to people close to the organization, I think we're kind of here we are, right? It's either going to be the qualifying offer or it's going to be one of those offers that have already been on the table here. Listen, we've got 2 weeks until October 1st. That's the deadline when this qualifying offer goes off the table unless Golden State wants to extend it. Remember also there's also that offer for 3 years. I think it was $54 million that was straight. No options at all there. So there are different scenarios for Kuminga. But as we heard on the podcast, they're going to dig their heels in the ground here and they're going to look at what's best for Jonathan Kuminga. If it's what's best is 1 year and taking $16 million less, they're going to go out and do that. And I think where people are maybe being confused is their perspective of what's best for Jonathan Kuminga is not necessarily maximizing the value of the contract. They're looking Jonathan Kuminga thinks he is a blossoming star. Right? Clearly the Golden State Warriors do not agree with that. Steve Kerr does not agree with that. Jonathan Kuminga wants to be in a situation where he can thrive and he says, hey, if I'm leaving money on the table now, he's betting if he gets in a situation where he'll have the ball more, where he can thrive, that the money will come. You can agree or disagree, but his perspective isn't let me get paid as much as possible right now. Right? And you heard that up close on the Hoop Collective podcast. Again, Brian Windhorst, you can listen to that interview. It is up now wherever you get your podcast. Tim, have you checked your mail? I have not. Well, October 1st is still a couple of days away, but you might have missed an invitation from Anna Wintour to Fashion Week. And in case you did, it just wrapped up in New York. So, you might want to open that a little late, but some NBA players, they were all locked in. And look at this. So cute. Josh Hart hitting the runway with his twins. I do have a good sweats collection. I could great shoes. Look at working it. Look at these. Look at these youngins. Also one of the perks of playing in New York for the Knicks. Absolutely. It works with the schedule maybe a little differently than Tim M. He wants to make a statement. Destroyer got steps back. Red stop it.